This is Water Elemental.
And this is Axis, and we are here today to talk about the League of Legends. This is a show where we kind of talk about what's happening
In the land of legends and leagues.
and, you know, the place where stuff happens and we watch. Or sometimes interact. It really changes a lot. But not this week, because this week everything's the same. A lot of things happened this week, and by a lot I mean like two. Viktor came out, then there's some sales, and everyone got extra IP. Or RP, as it were.
RP.
Then we had a couple little changes. They had a policy change they're doing to keep Summoner security up.
Not player security. Summoner security.
Summoners. And they also are doing kind of like a close-up thing with some of the high-end teams for tournaments. Let's kind of talk about Viktor a little bit.
The interesting thing about Viktor was, we kind of found out why Viktor was in the last patch. Riot got lazy, and instead of doing a whole nother patch during the holiday season, they just put Viktor in and then had him auto-release today.
It's kind of smart, to be honest. Because, I mean, holidays, nothing's really going to get done with your coworkers or anything like that. Though it does kind of make sense with the holidays coming up. With your coworkers, you're not going to get a whole lot done because everyone's going to be running around. It's going to be giddy for the holidays. So, it makes sense to just sort of have it all done, have it ready for release, and then just let it go when it comes time. It is kind of a drag, but I've been playing so much SWTOR I haven't really noticed.
Yeah, we actually were trying to look for the patch notes just now, and we couldn't find him because he was in the last patch.
Yeah, so we're like looking through the wiki, we're checking the interactive time, like, what's going on? What is this blasphemy?
Why can't I find him anywhere?
And then we figured it out, and we felt stupid. But played a game or two of Viktor. Like him. He's a cool mage. He's got a lot of interesting abilities. He hits hard. That's not something we've not had on a mage.
He's very mobile.
Well, it depends on how you spec him.
Well, the laser beam you can cast while he's moving, so you can...
He's channel light.
Channel light.
But I feel like it's good that we finally have a mage that hits hard, because we haven't had one of those in a while. It's been kind of a drag. Fizz doesn't really hit that hard.
He's a melee, and then... I don't know. Nine-tailed Fox hits decently.
No, not really. She's sort of a whittler.
Whittler.
But it's nice to have a hard-hitting mage, and Viktor is... He looks cool. He's not a little fish, little piece of crap. He's not a nine-tailed fox.
He's a robot man.
He's a robot man with a death beam. I will take the death beam, thank you. Call me old-fashioned, but I want the death beam.
Yeah, he has good style, and I love his voice acting. They did a really good job. Like,
oh yeah, his animation is really clean too. His jokes are good.
His dance is goofy.
His dance is epic, is what it is. If you haven't had a chance to see Viktor, play a couple of games. You'll find one. He's really cool looking, and you guys will like him a lot. And if you've picked him up, enjoy.
I really like the fact that halfway through the game you can just upgrade an ability, and depending on what ability is, helping your team the most, you can definitely...
Or helping you. I mean, I'm not a team player. I hate my team for the most part. I would do Proving Ground 1v1 league matches if I could. Proving Grounds! Can you imagine? Yeah, really cool mechanic with the ability core. Dislike that I have to give up an item slot, but for the extra damage you get, it's not terrible.
Well, every level it does add more ability power, so it does...
True.
Does scale, and it's not just sitting there going, I give you 3 mana. You have to pay 12,000 gold to get me.
I don't know that the orb talks like that.
I'm a prospector.
That's prospect orb. Who knew? Not me.
I am Viktor, and I'm the prospector orb. We got our own TV show coming up.
Alright, that joke is on its last legs already. Alright, but Viktor, very hard-hitting mage. He's got the ability to be utility spec. He's got the ability to be kind of dodgy spec. You can build him all kinds of ways, and it's really nice to have a high utility, high damage mage. So what do you give him?
I give him an 8. He's reliable. He's really good. I just want to see what people can do with him right now because he is quite buggy. I found sometimes where I wasn't able to actually cast any of my spells with him, but other than that, I think it's just a quick fix that they need to do after the holidays, New Year's.
9. He's got a high skill cap. He's got a lot of clutch moves. Really cool looking. Plays great. You have a lot of tools at your disposal. Very unique playstyle. Very unique building. It is the full combo for you. Unique character, unique abilities, unique builds. It's awesome.
This is probably one of the best champions they could have ended the season with, or ended the year with.
For sure.
Because if they did it with Volibear, I would have expected more from them.
But let's see which the champion is the first of the new year. So we'll find out, and we'll hope he lives up to 2012. He has to fight off the apocalypse, so he better be strong.
Viktor, fighting off the apocalypse with his laser hand.
No, Viktor is causing the apocalypse.
Oh.
He's got a chaos storm. It's like a singularity that devours planets. He is the herald of chaos. No, we need like a harbinger of saviors.
Care Bear?
Yeah, Care Bear instead of Volibear. It would be perfect.
Care Bear stare! I did that too well.
He's almost as good as your Teemo, really. You made a great Teemo, by the way. But moving right along, yeah, no patch notes, but we have a couple of other interesting things. They're trying to buff up security on accounts a little bit. Apparently they're attracting some less than genuine sorts of people who are taking accounts. Because, again, these accounts are worthwhile. I mean, if you have an account with all your champions on it, you have a bunch of skins, that's a lot of time, and people will pay for time. People will pay for WoW accounts, they'll pay for League of Legends accounts, I have no doubt about it. But they're trying to up security on your account. So definitely try and work with those steps and make sure you guys are safe, because I've had to go through recovering an account before, and not on League, but on other games, and it is torture.
They ask a lot of you, so if you can keep your account safe, if you can keep your computer safe, definitely do it, and Riot's more than happy to give you the tools you need.
Taking 10 minutes to make sure account's safe is much better than having to wait a week and a half to try and get your account back later. Next thing we have is, for the holiday season, they just gave everybody 450 RP.
Unless you were banned in the past 2 months, which I think is hilarious, because if you got banned in the last 2 months, you probably shouldn't be playing LoL much anymore.
Well, maybe.
I got banned for trolling once. No, I don't get Riot points.
It's a shame, but very cool stuff. I got my free 450, and I'm sure a lot of other people did, but it's really nice that they're kind of encouraging good play and just not being a dick to everybody. So it's really good that they're trying to do that, and I like free Riot points.
Yeah, and then you had the message from, we got an email with the message from the CEOs and all that stuff, which was kind of cool. So.
Oh yeah, very good news. Then, kind of to wrap up, we got a couple of sales this week. Champ sales, who do we got?
Lee Sin, Swain, and Susan.
Again, all very kind of strange champions in the way their damage functions. Lee Sin's almost like an AD caster with the way he functions. Very strong jungling, very high mobility, almost the best mobility in the game, with some really epic maneuvers you can do. Susan, again, he's a farm AD, the only one really in the game who kind of farms up with his attack damage and then just sort of tears through the entire team. But again, very farm intensive, you kind of practice with him. And Swain is just, he's the sort of character that nobody expects damage from. He's like, there's some voodoo, like, backdoor stuff going on with his damage. Every time I fight a Swain, I'm like, oh, I can take him, he doesn't hurt that bad. And then I'm just running for my life because all of a sudden, all of my life is gone.
Because Swain's rarely ever played, and you usually don't see very many Swains. And when they do, they're either, they tickle you, or they just destroy you.
So yeah, he's a hard champion to gauge, and if you can pull him off properly, you'll have a lot of fun with him.
A Swain with 5 Duran's blades, not very scary. A well-built Swain, very, very scary.
Yes, that.
I seen a full 5 Duran's blades.
I'm sure he was awesome. Cradle Sticks works, right?
Cradle Sticks does work.
What we got for skin sales this week?
We have Aristocrat Vayne.
Not my favorite, but it's a relatively cheap skin, so if you're looking for something to pick up for Vayne, it's a very strong and popular AD right now. Definitely pick it up.
Tribal Rise.
Reskin, not great looking for the RP. I mean, with the sales that you can get, when you compare Aristocrat, Vayne, and Tribal Rise right now, and they're both the same price, I mean, almost hurts.
Tribal Rise is pretty much saying, what happens if Rise was a white dude?
And now we know.
Now we know. And then Monarch Kog'Maw.
Probably Kog'Maw's best skins. Epic trollage with that. It's an amazing skin. Definitely pick it up if you're any kind of Cog player.
That's really it about news this week.
Indeed.
It is the holiday season. You know, everybody's out and about.
Yeah, without a patch, we don't have a lot to talk about. But
there was some bug fixes with the collie. We can talk about that in detail.
I hope a collie is squashed like a bug. That's what I hope. Shut up. We're going to move on to our own section now, guys.
Starting with questions this week from our comment section, we have Mr. 12 asking, with Viktor looking like Cabal and Shen looking like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, my question is, which Mortal Kombat combatant would you like to see iterated in League of Legends? Probably my favorite would be Kenshi for Lee Sin. He's the blind swordsman. I'd like to see kind of Lee Sin kind of have like that look with a lot of armor, flying around, doing cool telekinesis stuff, give him kind of Inviso punching like he does in the Mortal Kombat game.
What about Noob?
Noob, I could see Viktor being Smoker Noob or Cyrax.
What about Noob?
Yeah, you don't know nothing about Mortal Kombat.
I don't know anything about Mortal Kombat.
But yeah, I could see a couple of skins. Definitely I would like to see Kenshi, and I'd kind of like to see Smoke in there.
You would. Oh, yeah, good question.
Good question, good question.
Our next one comes from the Mepedon. He says, what's your view on a petition that a group of players are wanting a fairy-like or fairy-based champion? Well, let me tell you about this, buddy. I think every person that wants a fairy champion in this game is a pixie-loving pixie person. Not that there's anything wrong with that. To be honest, kind of cutesy, little adorable fly around, or even like, you know, just kind of champions like that. It's just not really my style. I like rough and tumble champions. Your Garen, your Mordekaiser, your Viktor.
I don't mind semi-cutesy champions, but ones that actually can have a personality and kind of have something to them. But a fairy champion would just be a fairy. It's like Volibear. He's just an armored bear. Yeah. You know, a fairy champion petition would just be, I'm a fairy. My voice acting pretty much is me going, tee-hee, ha-ha-ha, let me fly for you.
I know my like in Champion's a little cliche, but I can't really discount wanting a champion group like that because, again, I like kind of bland, just, I'm a tough guy champions, and it's perfectly reasonable to want something like that, and if they did put it in, awesome. You know, while I wasn't personally a fan of Ninetail Fox, I know there are a huge group of players out there who loved
that huge group of players do not like us, mind you.
That's too bad. But, you know, people who like Ezreal's style, maybe. Not exactly my style, but it is a valid audience, and Riot can't just play to me. So, in my opinion, fairy champions are kind of stupid. But if the one was put in the game, I wouldn't be like, this is ridiculous! Unsubbed!
I can see, if they make a fairy champion that isn't generic fairy, like they made like...
What if she's a water fairy?
Oh, don't get me started. If they make one that's kind of like, give them a really cool backstory, kind of like...
Him? There are no male fairies.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking the one from Han, the one voiced by Jesse Cox.
I'm glad you said Han. I thought you were going to say Fern Gully.
If they make one like Fern Gully, I'd buy it just for the fact that I just make Fern Gully.
Epic trolling!
But no, if they gave one with a decent storyline instead of generic fairy, it's kind of something cool, like, this fairy actually has killed several hundred people, and it's out for revenge on the League.
Fairy of brutality.
I'm the fairy brutality.
It's like actually fairy size. It's like, I can't click on him.
Ultimate shrinks down to miniature size. Cannot be clicked on.
Can only be hit by AoEs. Super Vlad ult. Be terrible.
Whole time laughing.
He becomes the meta just because of the ult. And you're just like, oh well, now I'm obligated. Freaking fairies.
Troll-la-la-la-la-la-la.
It'd be awful. It'd be awful. But, yeah. Perfectly valid thing to want, but again, not really my style.
And that's really it about questions. Guys, send us questions. We have an email. Send it to spazticgaming@gmail.com. We love hearing from you. Put them in the comments section. Put them on the forums if you really want to.
Hey, that's my line.
I don't care. You're not doing it right lately.
Meh.
So yeah, we want to hear from you. Definitely. It feeds us. It's probably the best thing waking up in the morning and having questions, and we're excited to answer them. So.
Yes, indeed. I'm going to go play Swotar now.
Definitely. We have a forum section. It's spazticgaming.makeforums.com. We have all sorts of forums. If you guys want a special forum for yourself, just let us know. We can set one up. We can set topics up. We're still working on our new website for next year, and we're planning on doing something in a year in review for League of Legends. So hopefully we can get that up for you as soon as we can as well. Do you have anything to add, or are you just going to stare at me?
Are we playing Swotar yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have. I'm a bounty hunter.
And I'm a Sith warrior. And Angry Joe sent me a friend request. I'm internet famous! Oh my god!
Lucky bastard.
Just let me have my fame. Let me have my fame!
This has been Water Elemental.
And this has been Axis.
And can I have your autograph now?
I am in internet notoriety.